Welcome back, everybody. So we are a little bit behind. I've just met two of the girls from Hull, which made me really happy. Yay! So at least 4 people in the audience can understand me. Woohoo! Right. Now, for this next panel, they are absolutely amazing. Yesterday, they completely blew us away. Shona and Santina are back with us. They are from the Care Experience Advisory Board, Coram Voice, and that is a group which brings together care experienced young people aged 16 to 25 in England to represent their voices and champion for the rights of children. Now, the group meets with decision makers to ensure young children's voices, teeth back in, are heard and acted upon nationally. And yesterday they talked about what is a home, and today they're going to talk about what makes life good. Please give them a massive round of applause.
Hello everyone, my name is Shona and I'm Care Experienced. I'm an A&V ambassador from A National Voice.
And I'm Santina, also ambassador for A&V. We're excited to introduce the work of A National Voice this second day, and it's time to look at the topic of what makes life good.
You might have been with us yesterday for day 1, where we explored what home can mean after entering care. But today we're going to look at the bigger picture. What are the things that help you feel safe, valued, connected, and hopeful? What are the real ingredients for a good life? Not just surviving, but actually living well. We've asked this question to hundreds of children in care and care leavers across the country, and today you'll hear what some of them had to say. But before we start, we wanted to do a little bit of an icebreaker. So we're going to play a quick game of hands up. So if the statement applies to you, if the statement applies to you, put your hand up. If not, don't put your hand up. So there's no right or wrong, just a chance to get moving and to reflect on what really makes life good for each of us. So hands up if someone has helped you believe in yourself. That's good. Hands up if you have someone in your life who really listens to you. Hands up if there's a place that makes you feel completely safe. Hands up if you've ever felt better just because someone has asked how you really are. Hands up if you've ever felt left out of a decision about your life. Hands up if you believe young people's voices should lead the change. This is the last one now. Hands up if you've ever had to share something really personal, something painful, with a room full of professionals that you barely knew. For care-experienced young people, this isn't just a one-off. We're often asked to tell our story again and again, to people we didn't choose and to people we sometimes don't trust. Imagine your hardest moments written down in a file and then passed around without you knowing who's reading it. And that's the reality for a lot of us. And sometimes it's not the story that's the hardest to carry. It's the way the system treats it like information and not experience. So thank you for joining in. It's always interesting to see how different our answers can be and how much those little things can matter. How much those little things matter when we think about what makes life good. Some of the insights that we'll share today come from the Bright Spots programme, a national research project led by Coram Voice and Professor Julie Selwyn. It's gathered over 30,000 responses from children in care and care leavers through 2 surveys, Your Life, Your Care and Your Life Beyond Care. But what makes Bright Spots so special is that these surveys weren't just designed for young people. They were shaped with young people based on what they said really matters in life and what makes things better or harder when you're in care. And now we're really proud to bring it back to where it matters the most, real voices. So I'm going to hand over to Santina, who's going to share her own experiences and reflections on what makes life good.
Hi. So for me, a good relationship with a professional is built on respect, trust, consistency, clarity, and care. It's having someone who shows up not just physically but emotionally, someone who supports you consistently, and when they aren't available, they have another point of contact to speak to. It's about having a professional that actively listens and really listens without judgment, someone who speaks clearly, tells the truth even when it's hard to hear, and doesn't sugarcoat reality. That honesty helps us understand where we're really at in our care journey and those leaving care. It also means having someone that shares the same aspirations or understands them. That changed my mindset and helped shape my identity in a positive way. Moving on to mental health support. Mental health support, when done right, can really help you. Knowing who to turn to and actually having support when you need it is everything. Sadly, my journey wasn't easy. I often felt misunderstood, like people just saw my age and brushed everything off. It was more than that. I had so many professionals come and go due to me moving locations, and each time it meant starting again with someone new. That's exhausting. I barely knew my nurse, and maybe knowing about healthy eating would have been helpful. I struggled to attend therapy appointments and was removed from lists multiple times, not because I didn't want help, but because there was a lack of understanding around what I needed and how was I meant to know. Eventually, I found the right support. They saw me, they made space for me. Even if we just sat in silence, that time was valuable. Not every session needs to be about talking. Sometimes just being is enough, and letting a young person know that is calming. Now I appreciate these moments like a mental timeout, and I know this isn't just my reality, it's something many young people face. So if you're a professional working with people that are currently in care and care experience, here's my advice to you. Give us a chance. Don't take things personally. Be our peace in the chaos. Ask us what we expect from you. Ensure that we're comfortable. Most importantly, make us feel seen, heard, and valued. We're already carrying so much. The smallest bit of understanding can make a difference. I've constantly had to break barriers and beat odds stacked against me. For a long time, I didn't believe there was hope for me. I was labelled and found myself stuck in cycles that felt impossible to break, but eventually I stopped looking outwards and started looking within. I imagined my younger self, how she would have felt and what she wanted to be, and chose to become that person. I remembered what I loved before I left and had a difficult time. I decided to reclaim it. I broke patterns, I did things differently. Now I live by this: be the person you needed when you were younger. That's what I aim to be for others. And to those who underestimated me, you don't know me, I'm constantly growing. I know who I am and I know what I've survived. Speak life into your young people, professionals. Try to stick with them. My goal now is to truly empower others. I despise doing it solely through speaking, but I prefer doing it by action, as actions lead. I'll speak louder than words. I want young people to realize who they are, think for themselves, that they're valuable, to use it for their benefit, and that their barriers don't define them. There's a way forward. For young people, celebrate your wins. Even if it's small, find people who genuinely appreciate you. And instead of sitting in the wires, focus on how you can move forward and grow. Travel, even if that's to your local park. Find a community that is safe and welcoming. This isn't the reality for everyone. Most young people return to their communities and there's no one to engage them, to guide them. Some lessons have to be lived to be understood, and as not all the time we understand. I call for change. I believe professionals should invest in those with lived experience in care, housing, or youth justice. They understand the system firsthand, know what actually helps. We may not always reflect ourselves through qualifications. Maybe we need a new structure on how this is measured. Even if change is slow, I want others to hold on to hope and pass the torch to other young people, empowering them to chase their dreams and build a future for themselves. Thank you for hearing my story, the points I've made. I hope to have said something that sticks with you or inspires you to change one thing in your practice. And making that change can mean everything for someone like me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Santina. I'm going to share some of my own experiences as well. So from my experiences, I would say that some things that create good relationships with professionals and trusted adults are patience, showing that I can confide in you at my own pace. It can be hard to build trust, especially when you're asked to share your story over and over again with new professionals. I can remember one person saying to me that time is just time, and it might sound like a small thing to say, but it just reassured me for the first time that I don't take up too much space, that I'm not too much like I'd been told. Smiling, it might seem like a simple thing, but it can be really reassuring, particularly if the young person overthinks or worries about talking to new people, and I overthink a lot. It means a lot to me when someone smiles. And finally, empathy. You don't have to have the same lived experience as me, just enough care to try to understand. Some advice that I would offer to those supporting young people with their mental health is just to hear them, sit with them and check in, especially if you're aware of any anniversaries or maybe difficult times coming up for us. You could be the only one who does. Thankfully, I was very lucky with my school. I loved it, and education was kind of like a way out for me. School was somewhere I felt safe, where I had people who believed I could amount to something. So even when that wasn't emulated at home, I had a glimpse of hope that just because I'm quiet, it doesn't mean I'm invisible. So now going back to the Bright Spots survey. From our work at ANV, whether it's running consultations, creating campaigns, or just having honest conversations with young people, there are some stats that really stick with us. They shape where we focus our energy and why we keep pushing for change. For example, in the Bright Spot survey of care leavers, 92% said they had someone who listened to them. 87% said they had someone who believed in them, but 1 in 20 said they had no one at all. That's why relationships come up again and again when we ask young people what makes life good, and every child and young person deserves to have someone. Because having even one person who listens, who believes in you, who stands by you, that can be the difference between just getting through it and actually feeling like your life is worth something.
Okay. In autumn 2024, following the general election and appointment of a new children's minister, ANV launched a national consultation to gather the views of care-experienced young people. We asked a simple but powerful question. What do you want the new children's minister to focus on to make care better? The response was incredible. 325 children and young people from 45 different local authorities took part, sharing their priorities, personal experiences, and powerful messages for change. The key themes were better mental health support. Young people told us their mental health impacts every part of life and that current services are too stretched and difficult to access. Listen to young people and decisions about their lives. They want to be involved in decisions that affect them, not just a tick box, real listening, transparency, and respect. Build good relationships. Children and young people value consistency and connection. They want professionals, carers, and services they can trust and build lasting relationships with. Mental health support was the most important issue, chosen by more than 6 out of 10 care-experienced children and young people. One young person shared, "Your mental health matters, impacts everything every day, life, education, just getting up in the morning." Listening to children and young people and decisions about their lives was the second most important issue, chosen by 45% of care-experienced children and young people. The decisions made about our lives are often out of our control, and without considering the people who know us best, us. It creates chaos and fear in young people which lasts a lifetime. And finally, building good relationships was the third most important issue, chosen by over a third of care-experienced children and young people, because people come and go from children in care's life. We don't have the chance to build up a good relationship with them, which is important to us. This is any professional, even foster carers. The consultation may be complete, but our campaign is far from over. And National Voice Ambassadors have been reviewing each quote shared by the 325 young people from the 45 different local authorities. Those quotes are now being used to shape clear, specific recommendations that will be taken directly to the new Children's Minister, and we're working to create more opportunities, not just for ANV, but for the wider network of care experienced children and young people across the country to share their views face to face. Because real change needs to come from them, from us, from the people who lived it. And for everyone in the room, whether you're a practitioner, decision maker, carer or advocate, we want you to leave with this. You have the power to transform lives. For children in care and care leavers, the system can be the difference between struggling to survive or finding the confidence to thrive. We are not just statistics. We are future leaders, entrepreneurs, teachers, artists, and innovators, but we can only reach our potential if the system lifts us up instead of holding us back. Listen to us, involve us, believe in us. Care experienced people know what it's like to navigate the system, and we can help you create real change. So whether you're shaping policies, writing care plans, offering support, or simply listening, be bold. Be the person who doesn't just patch up the system, but helps rebuild it around what young people actually need.
Before we close today's session, we'd like to share one final voice, someone who couldn't be here in person but still wanted to speak to all of you. Jay is an ANV ambassador from Hull. She is part of Hull Young Voices in Care. She worked with other teenagers in Hull to create a film that tells the real story of what it's like to be in care. Not just the struggles, but the hopes, the dreams, and what young people truly need from the adults around them. The video is called Dream On, and it asks a powerful question. What would it look like if every young person, no matter their background, had the same chance to thrive? And in Jay's own words, it's not always a dead-end destination. There's light at the end, we just have to want it bad enough. So as we end, we invite you to listen with open hearts and open minds. This is Jay, and this is Dream On.
I've just woken up and I don't want to open my eyes. I want to keep them shut. I'll tell you why I don't want to open them. I'm scared that I'm going to open my eyes and not see my bedroom ceiling with the light and the pink lampshade I've had since I was 4. I don't want to open them and find out that what happened yesterday wasn't a dream. I really, really want what happened yesterday to be a dream. And I can wish it to a dream if I don't open my eyes. The thing that happened yesterday was crazy. It's been bad at home for a while. There's been a lot going on. A lot of late nights, people around, no food in the fridge, drugs going on, drinking. There's been bad stuff for a while. But then a few weeks ago, it really got worse. Yesterday was the day it spun out of control. My social worker turned up with the police and I was taken into care. But if I just keep my eyes closed, it can all be a dream. I can dream on. And if I do dream on, then this is what would happen in that dream. I'm not at home, I'm in care. That means I'm safe. I've opened my eyes and I've got a nice bedroom. It's warm, it's got curtains. My social worker bought some clothes round in a bag. I put them on and go downstairs, and there I find my new carer, who smiles at me and offers me some toast with jam on. And then, and this is really important, she explains to me what has happened and what might happen next. And she listens to all my questions and does her best to answer them. And when she can't answer them, she's just honest about that. And I dream on. My social worker comes and she explains when I'm going to see my family again. It's going to be next week to give everyone time to get over the meltdown that's gone on. It feels good to know that I'll see them soon and haven't been taken away forever. And I dream on. feel safe. I feel warm. I'm not hungry. There's stuff for me to do. I'm not tired. I can concentrate in school. And having a break from all the noise at home is starting to work. And I dream on. I realise that care isn't a dead-end destination. It's a kind of process. And the idea behind it is to try and get me back to my family. But in the meantime, to make sure that I have everything I need to be happy. And I dream on. Even though I'm in care and things need to be checked out, I'm still able to see my mates. That stopped me from being alone and getting bullied. I join Hull YVic. I meet kids who are just like me who are in care, and we've all got stuff in common, and we all get on, and can help make care better for other kids too. And I dream on. And all the time, I really feel it in my heart that my family love me. They love me. It's just that right now, things are not good, and someone has had to step in. Right now, we just see each other as much as we all can, and that's fine. The social workers listen to us all, and try to get everyone strong again, so that we can all be together all the time. It's not easy, but that's what my family and everyone who works with us wants. And I dream on, I dream on, I dream on. Until I realise I can't keep my eyes closed forever. At some point I'm going to have to open them and see that I'm not in my old room under the pink lampshade that I've had since I was 4. At some point I'm going to have to face it. But before I do, I make a promise to myself that I will believe that all the things I pretended to dream about can actually come true. I deserve them to come true. To see my family, to be safe, to have people who listen, to have someone to look after me, to learn in school, to have my mates around me, to have a future and a childhood. If we all believe that I deserve those things, it won't just be a dream. I open my eyes, and that's not my ceiling. And the pink lampshade isn't there. But that's okay, because now the day begins.
I don't know about you, but I feel quite emotional watching that. I genuinely didn't realise that was from Hull as well. Please, are the girls there still? Come back on. I want you to all stand up and give these two wonderful hands. That's what it's about. That's what today is all about. And when they're saying about not being seen as tick boxes and statistics, it's what I said earlier, and I very much understand that. The one thing that I took away was when she said, be the person, I want to be the person I needed as a young person. That really, really resonated with me.